I love the... Anyways, welcome back to Pokemon Violet Nuzlocke 2nd edition, part 14. We've done 14 whole parts of this. It's a somber moment, eh? Because... oh yeah, Blueberry Actors. We legit have nothing else to do but to go into the Zero Gate. The only alternative is we dabble in Blueberry, which, yeah, not a fan of that. I can't find taxis from in the school. Right. So, I haven't put the tracker up. There we go. So, there are 2 areas left on the tracker at least that we haven't actually encountered in. Pokemon League, which, to be fair, what encounter? Everything here is either Dupe's Claws in the form of Fido or Tandemaus, or it's just overall really low level, even if Dupe's Claws wasn't a thing, like Igglybuff here. Level 7. It's so weird. Because some of the trainers here actually got quite nicely leveled Pokemon. Like, as if you're meant to be here at the end of the game, not at the start of the game. Oh, hey, a Vampass team. That's only useful if we actually like have something that we want to send stat-wise to something else. But anyways, and the only other area is Area 0. Now the best way to get to the gate is to fly over to Medeli and head on up. So the tracker is actually completely useless now outside just keeping track of what Pokemon are alive. Pardon me. Mainly just because of... oh, the air balloon's still here. Oh, that's cool. That's actually quite neat to do. The only thing the tracker can do is just track, because for whatever reason it doesn't include any of the Area 0 fights. Which... I don't know why. It's like sure, the fights are different whether you're playing Violet or Scarlet because of the Paradox Pokemon being different for each game, but other than that, it seems rather silly in my opinion. And so, to make our way in, we gotta first talk with Arvin. The Zero Gate. The way home begins. The finale storyline of the base game of Paldea. So the goal in mind is obviously to batter the Paradox Pokemon and beat the Protocol in the 6v6 part. Because if we get to the Miraidon Mirror match, we'll be in a scripted sequence anyway, so it'll essentially be a win. And so our party starts forming. Since Mona's here. Hooray! Nemona beating the crap out of Arvin in Pokemon Battle might sound like a fun idea. And of course the lights now come back on because Penny is in the corner somewhere. Yeah. There she is. It's Penny! Hooray! Our intrepid adventurers. That's the only thing that's notable about Penny Cinnamona, just the beaver bag. And he has got one of the better level teams actually. Our team is higher level than Arvin's in the trainer fights we have against him, but yeah. But then again, it's a full evolution team, so if anything, Nimona would probably have a field day with that. It certainly is. If you didn't know the stuff, it certainly would be weird. Why are they listing out their IDs? Like, it'd be like if in America, if like the moment you enter a bank, it's like, "Hello, name, social security number 2576." That would be really fucking weird. Thankfully, I ain't American, so I don't have to worry about that sort of thing happening. Although then again, no, I do have a national insurance number. Obviously, I'm not going to start blurting that out. So we do have the encounter in Area 0. So I don't know what the alternative is of Roaring Moon, but there is a cave we could theoretically get to where there possibly is a rare spawn. In Scarlet there is, because Roaring Moon. Anyway, obviously the teleporter doesn't work yet, so we have to go manually down. Looking through the Paradox Pokemon on a place like Survey.net. Ground Steel, Ice Water, Fighting Electric, Dark Flying, Fire Poison, Rock Electric. So all in all, initially maybe a ground type would do really well. Then there's of course a flying type to say no to that. I'm just going to get through all this stuff. Either is a complete fool or very, 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 very brave. That's the logic that has to be utilized. And once we've pressed the yes button here, we'll be going into cutscenes. Hooray! Once again, if only Nintendo actually decided, hey, you know what, let's actually have voice acting in like the actual main video game. That is but still, representative of the thumbnail. Where's that Magnuson? If we didn't go for the Garchomp or the Magnezone, I would definitely attempt to draw Garchomp in the process as well. just be like, oh yeah, you can find Garchomp and Magnezone just on the Great Crater bit, which technically makes it an area, which is great. The best kind of technically correct. The everlasting mists of Area 0. And a myriad of Pokemon we could encounter, some of which we already have, thankfully. Like the Flabébés that we'll inevitably encounter in the early part. We've got Florges, so we don't have to worry about that one. And same with the Corviknights, may it rest in peace and all that. Would have actually not been too bad around here, minus the electric ones. So it might be worth having Gastrodon up front. No, why don't and it forces us to have to walk on foot. No. Oh no, Nemona's dead already. Never mind, she's perfectly alive. Hooray! Of course she's excited about this place. Strong Pokemon galore. Nemona would have her own tempo. Hooray, no confusion. But still, but also, not the best. We've made it into the area, and now we get more dialogue. We've been through all this before. Go watch the Scarlet playthrough. Me trying to suggest watching other videos of mine besides. It's a very simple objective, just go to the stations, and I'm going to consider what I might want up front when it comes to the I also might want to just have like a good Pokemon for any of them for just in the box. Hey look, Raichus. We don't have Pikachu. We didn't catch Pikachu, so heading back on up this way, you can see dilapidated buildings. But obviously there's nothing else to do in this direction. It's just neat. So this just gives us a moment. Oh god, my throat today. I'm just gonna consider any steel type ones we can pummel with Pawmon. Anything that's weak to ground, Gastrodon does a lovely job with. Obviously, I would probably slot Garchomp on over one of Weathering or Empoleon, because ground would be useful. Because I'm looking through them. Because I am looking through them, and if we go from where we get them, there's Iron Treads, which we've fought before. Weak to ground, weak to fighting, weak to water, weak to fire. Iron Bundle, not weak to ground, but weak to fighting, grass, electric, and rock. So, Masquerada can certainly hit it, but it has Ice type. Gotta be careful about that Ice type. Iron Hands is weak to ground, as well as Fairy and Psychic. Iron Jugulus is immune to ground, but is weak to Ice and Electric and Rock and Fairy. So Fairy's doing quite nice here as well. Iron Moth is 4 times weak to ground, and has weakness to water and rock. So Rock type does quite well around here as well. And then Iron Thorns is 4 times weak to ground, 2 times weak to grass and water. And then assuming we end up seeing an Iron Valiant around, it's later on in the Pokédex, its Fairy fighting typing means that it's weak to Poison and Flying and Psychic and Steel and Fairy. So yeah, ideally maybe I'd want a Pokemon on the team that knows a good rock maneuver. I don't know which Pokemon has rock on its movesets other than Glamora really, but Basically what I'm thinking is I've got a bit too much Steel, and that's not going to be as useful right now, because, yeah, fighting types about, you know what, we'll throw on Garchomp for the moment, and we'll put Gastrodon up front for the moment, just on the off chance of anything we encounter, so yeah. So we'll take opponent off for the moment. If I need to change at all, or if unfortunateness occurs with any of the Pokemon, then so be it. So yeah, Area 0. There's Jumpluff, Venomoth. We'll try and not encounter any of the more common Pokemon that we could have gotten a long while ago. Rathorigs. I would like to get my hands on a Paradox Pokemon. Obviously, the required fights of the Paradox Pokemon that you're doing in double battle form, you can't catch, obviously, so come on, I can reach this item. Yeah. We bottled up some water. Ooh, white powder. We can put down a Pokemon and we will lower the accuracy of the opposing Pokemon. So if they say a move that we really don't want to have hit, but it's already had maybe not the best accuracy, we can play around it. Potions, hooray! We can leave, obviously, through the power of flying taxis and the teleporters once we've got access to them. Making our way through the area. I was helpful. Yeah, I did all the fights. Hooray! Ooh, time flying. Lucha. I'm glad that a number of these are Pokemon that we've already had, so I don't have to worry too much. Although I should probably still be careful. Like, ooh, a Flare Blitz TM. That's a nice physical fire move. Does hurt the user unless they've got a way of not taking recoil, but you know. I don't know the order of the proceedings in terms of the Area 0 fights for Violet. So, if it wasn't for the fact that we've got to make our way to the research stations, I would happily... Oh, cutscenes. I would happily just jump down. Alvin doesn't know how to pronounce research station. And yes, Penny indeed has better common sense. But which one do we see? Ah, Glamora. Okay. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's Glamora, isn't it? It's not all that special. Glimmits can be found in a number of places in Paldea. And Glamora being around here, it's alright. Also, we can find them in the Crystal Pool, but in Kakami, but that makes sense. Okay, so yeah, this is not a fight against the... And you know what? I didn't even need to do anything. This was a weird fight to have as the first one, no matter what, really. As well, Drill 1 kills. Nemona one-shotting, hooray! It's always fun to see. You can tell based off of dynamics that it's clear that everyone here is more of a case of, well, they're friends of me than anything else. But research station! We've reached one. When I play through where you care about the dialogue, this is definitely nice to see. I do have to compliment Game Freak, Nintendo, Pokemon Company, whichever I have to compliment on the story, because I do like this stuff. And it's nice that they do give us access to places that allow us to have some elements of being able to travel, some elements of being able to rest in the event we needed to, which we didn't. We didn't even hit a move. So lock number 1. And of course we now have access to the teleporters, which means we are able to get back out of Area 0 whenever we desire to. No, pardon me. So if there's something that really needs to be done, we can. Oh yeah, you can just find Photograph. Eh. It's a shame that basically both his parents just decided to just not bother with parenting. So, you know. It's real unfortunate. So, Ethers. Trying to not encounter a Waichu, because that would actually be not good. Waichu would be completely useless and would just get boxed immediately. About this far. Metallic machine thing. I.e., he got hit by one of them Powder Pokemon. Next research station should be over this way. Whee! Some Pinarcles and some Holuchas. As per normal at this point. If I need to switch to a more appropriate one, I can, thankfully. Ooh. There we go. At the next research station, I've just realised I haven't opened my window, so it will actually get a bit warm in here, even though it's not. The sun's slowly rising. But we did it, we've made it to the second one. Now I know that it's Screamtail and Scarlet, because it's like, no, it's a Jigglypuff. Oh god, no, it's actually much worse than a Jigglypuff. We do it with the Delibird, well, Iron Bundle. That's ice water. You know what? Gastron's not a bad option, actually, to be honest. Can't use water moves on me. Is Delibird cute? I say it's more annoying in Gen 2 when you're trying to hunt down, say, a better ice type, but outside of that, eh. D. It's an Iron Bundle. And Penny starts with an Umbreon. Not the worst idea, actually. Oh yeah, like... Ow. Doing Iron... Good 100. Let's just drill pick on Umbreon instead. Hooray! That's exactly what we wanted to see. And that's an Iron Bundle now in our Pokédex. Castron's stats really is going to be its downfall at this point. Ugh. So unless we suddenly fight a fairy, which is very unlikely, maybe Garchomp would be the better ground type to have up front. But yep, with that out the way, Research station number 2. Just gotta turn on the machine, use the bed so that we can have a fully healed Gastrodon. One must be pondering how these Paradox Pokemon even exist. But we do get this nice, lovely illustration of Iron Treads. I like how, in order to make it consistent, we get 2 Paradox Pokemon based off of Donphan. And they both look quite, and they both look quite nice actually. Iron Treads has that more metallic thing going on for it, but great Tusk looks like. It's like, yeah, this would be something that would exist in a more prehistoric time. We did it. We've been able to time travel, or at least bring things back from time, which, you know, realistically probably makes a little bit more sense. It'd be easier to try and get something from the future back to the present than it would be to get something from the past into the present, because that would mean that you've been able to, but then again, at the end of the day, then you still would have been able to then figure out a way to time travel to the past. Yeah, time travel is weird. It's something that remains within sci-fi, because let's face it, how the fuck are you meant to build a time machine and get it right? Maybe that's why we've never heard of any successful time traveling shenanigans, because everyone who ever does end up screwing up something and maybe blows up in the middle of some kind of time vortex. And we'll have been unaware of them. I will explain what happened to my buddy Jim. He was with us just a second ago. Wait, was that someone? Weird. Don't know why I would have assumed there was someone around here. Anyway. We get given the Violet book. Hooray. Bam, bam, bam. A good old Westy West. And now to keep making our way down. Maybe we'll find something that's worth catching. Who knows? Point is that the Paradox Pokemon will definitely be one of the best Pokemon we can get our hands on. Hopefully we can also get our hands on a boost of energy in the process, because then that means we can trigger photosynthesis. Not going Wonder Wests when it comes to some of those Phenomorphs. So the Baby's fine, because that's Stoop scores. Girafarig, not so fine. Another waterfall with an amount of water. Then it goes on about her family now. Vaporeon. So of course there are people that theorize that Penny's father is Peony from Galar. So, you know, that's kind of neat. Ah, auto saves. Why are we auto saving? Oh yeah, because we're right near the station. Still not finding any Paradox Pokemon. I'm kind of starting to get worried that the only time I'm going to find any in the wild outside of the Cryo fights are either going to be when we're in the lower depths, which means harder to get back out easily, or not at all until we beat the main story. But I'll be honest, some of these Pokemon aren't really the best there. But hooray, the third one! And the Paradox Pokemon we face this time is any in particular? Because I forget whether or not we do, but Penny, of course, has an understanding of these things. Oh, hey, an Iron Plate. Why are we so surprised? This is just a smaller version of what we've already fought before. It looks so much tinier compared to the Titan version. Oh. But it doesn't make it any less ferocious. In fact, it's actually probably a little bit more stronger because it is, of course, higher level. Though Mass Positive Intimidate means that we don't have to worry as much. Yes! Go for the Mass Positive! And Fire Fang is a wonderful, wonderful move. Wonderful. And the burn! Hooray! Man, my friends are doing really good. Why am I even doing that? Nah, well, to be fair. Penny would have taken a while longer because she doesn't have it. Pardon me, any of the other ones first. No, Umbreon obviously is the best option, but pardon me. So hooray! But how did it get up there? How could this possibly have happened? So anyway, let's just carry on doing whatever the professor wants. Research station number 3. As you can see, there's a lot of foliage on it. And just as disheveled and abandoned as the others. Most likely, Miraidon is indeed from a time period ahead of our own. Maybe it's a really, really common Pokemon. And the professor. The way that it's lore-wise is that Miraidon and Koraidon are past and future versions of Cyclus are... I mean, sure, why not? Yes, heartwarming. Family. But anyways, let's... You know what? I did use enough power. Let's use the bad. Yeah, you get tired after using enough power once, you know? It's just... Oh, such a tiresome thing. Seriously, ground type's really good in this area. What the fuck? If it wasn't for these damn flying types, I'd just actively use a ground type the entire way through. Right, let's see if we can actually encounter one. I'll even take an iron bundle, to be honest. But we are about to enter the cave bit, so that means we'll now get a change up in what we can see. Like, let's face it, Raichu's, Corvidites, Dupes Claws, Venomoth, ugh. Farigiraf, kinda neat, but not what we need. Of course, Gibble! That's Dupe's Claws. Dunsparce, Lamoras. And upon entering this bit, we get cutscened. Hooray! I'll be honest, if we either die before we get through to the final fight, or in the final fight, and it doesn't take us too long to get through this all, I might just do a Persona 5 X stream like immediately or something, because I've got nothing bad to do today at the moment. So there's the research station, and of course now we are fully in the cave. There is more than meets the eye to Area 0. Sadly, in order to do that stuff, you have to get through all of Kitakami, all of Blueberry, and the Pitchwant stuff. So, you know, takes a bit. Basically, aha! We're at the level where we can find Iron Bundle. If we wanted Iron Bundle specifically. I would like to see if I can find some of the other ones. Ah, there's an Iron Jugulus, that's Dark Flying. Which, those are the fighting ones. Behold, the future of Hydreigon. I'll go into the menus, I won't get murdered by do this because I want this double check. If we could encounter the Iron Jugulus, we would get our hands on a Pokemon that gets a nice myriad of Dragon, Dark, and Flying maneuvers. Gets Hyper Beam at 91. What the... Not what I would give it, to be honest, but you know. At level 91, like, that sort of level, you're giving that to a Pokemon that is really high level. I don't know, because Iron Bundle's Ice Waterness means that all the Paradox Pokemon that have ways of dealing with ice quite efficiently are just going to hurt. Where, same with Dark, but the Dark Flying. Actually, Garden Soul might not be a bad idea, actually, thinking it through, because so many of them are weak to walk. But, at the same time, we could just put Glimmer on the team. Weaving our way through the Glimmoras. I don't know if I can encounter any of the other Paradox Pokemon. I might go for mine. Because we've gone past the cave that I'm thinking of taking a look in. Oh yeah, you can get Tricloak. Yeah, that makes sense. The pseudos make sense. But we did make it to the next research station, so... And this one has certainly seen the best days. And, yeah. For the adults, it's quite obvious what has occurred. For children, I don't know how to explain it myself, to be honest. But, yeah, one last look. All the locks are now disabled. That's not what that was. Arvin knows immediately. So actually, I do want to figure out if that cave exists. So So we go research station number 3. The only issue is, of course, I am at a disadvantage due to not having Miraidon movement. Unless the game's letting me have it now, because this is how I end up with a Raichu, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I can't ride Miraidon. But there should be a cave over this way. Memory cells. I'm curious. My curiosity has been piqued by my own accordance. If we were playing Scarlet right now, I could get myself a Roaring Moon and I'd be really happy. But because I like Roaring Moon, I think Roaring Moon is a good one. I like Screamtail because I like Jigglypuff. So, yeah. And so the Scarlet Paradox Pokemon are quite lovely. Fluttermane may be a meta dominance machine, but you know, I think that's just because its typing is a really good one for what it is then able to also do. Oh look, Sableye. And oh no, there's Sneasels. Sneasels can charge at me. We're gonna have to be careful of the Sneasels. I wish I was on Miraidon. But yes, there's this cave here. Ah, Dog Trio. Lovely to see a deep claws Pokemon around here. And you can find a timid mint. We can find Lycanrocs. We can murder Lycanroc with Gastrodon. Okay. Oh hey, they followed me. Oh, hey, that's just actual Hydreigon, isn't it? Yeah, that's just an actual Hydreigon. No, wait, no, it's not. It's Iron Jugulis. I thought that was a Hydreigon, actually, for a second. No, wait, no, that's... Oh, okay, so we can find Iron Jugulis here, then. You know what? Sorry. We were able to find one in the cave. I was thinking, actual Hydreigon, but no, wait. I'm thinking, no, I'm an idiot. That's, that's not correct, because it can't be correct, because it's Virgin exclusive. I should know that, because I've got Hydreigon on my main Scarlet profile. Save. But, there we go. We've got a Iron Jugulis. That will be our last encounter. I don't know if it's the wisest decision. I don't know what to even call it, but... Oh, Terraflying! Terraflying, that's neat. You might want to take a look on the thing there. Ah, it's got Quark Drive. Which, yeah, so that's electric terrain, or if holding a booster energy. As we can see, no booster energy, so, yeah, that's unfortunate, because there's two ways to get booster energy. Either we catch a Pokemon that has it equipped, or we, like, steal it from a Pokemon that has it equipped, and I can't do either of it, and I don't have access to either option, really. So, Iron Jugulis has the weakness to Ice, so Iron Bundles can have a field day with this one. Electric, and Walk, and Fairy. Lovely. But we can switch it to just being pure flying if we so desire. We'll add it to the party for the moment. We'll swap out Weather Rune for this for the moment. Not sure if that's my wisest plan ever, but hey, you know. Okay, now we're just gonna have to leave. Actually, before we do that, it's also a lower level comparatively to everything else. Oh god. Yeah, it's got more of a special stuff. So, since I don't have booster energy, I'm gonna have to use electric terrain to get its stat boost. Huh. Well, Crunch is cool and all, but it obviously doesn't do as much because of the special attack being the more preferred stat. So we'll have Dragon Breath, good coverage, I guess. Hyper Voice or electric terrain. Yeah, I'll do that. Then we can release electric terrain, and then we can boost the stat in the process. So you know, lovely stuff. Might not even be all that useful for me actually. It might, just because it's lower level than I'd like it to be. So yeah, if I have it up front for a moment and I encounter a Pokemon that it won't suffer against, like say a Venomoth. So this is how you're meant to, so since this is going to have boost to energy, this is how we're going to have to use its Quark Drive. We do electric terrain, which will activate the Quark Drive, which will then heighten its special attack. However, as you can see, that gives my opposing Pokemon a turn. It's useful at the end of the day because it does trigger the thing there. But we also suffer from the fact that all of the major story fights that are left are against Paradox Pokemon that will have the same ability. Meaning, while we'll heighten our special attack, I don't know if our own electric terrain triggers theirs because it's an area effect that hits that it always affects every Pokemon in the battle. So that's why it would be kind of nice if we had boost of energy. I'm gonna be honest, I think maybe it's not the best option. Right, we use the research station to rest. I think this is going to be the case with all of them, pretty much, sadly. So I'm thinking we'll pop that out and think which is more likely going to help us out of all the Pokemon we have. I'm saying Weatherman might be still useful to have. Like, it's nice backup, you know, in the event we need it. Gastron can stay up front then. For a moment. Research station number 4. With all the locks done, let us head downwards. No, 100% better. How it is. Mona is simple-minded, to put it simply. Oh, unless we can find a boost of energy just in the area. That would be useful if we could. We can actually get some amount of experience actually by attacking the because at the end of the day, it's weak to Surf. Well, we don't one-shot with Gastron. Oh. So we've learned something new. And I might have to be fortunate about that fact. Shame they only want some Singer, Jugulus and Bundle. Oh well, I'd rather call it Jugulus. It's like names based off of the fact that more machine and then there's like a bit that you can describe them as, like, oh, that's got the that bit has the Jugulus part to it. Oh, that one has a Bundle part to it. I don't know what makes something an Iron Valiant, but you know, the game really just doesn't want you to have access to some of the other ones while you're still doing the main story, which is a little dumb, but oh well. Anything around this way? Doesn't appear like it. Okay. At least we're still finding TMs. Like a Shadow Ball. Useful actually. And there's the Zero Gate. Well, no, not the Zero Gate, the bit to the final fight. Yeah, I'm just running around aimlessly at this point a little bit. It's kind of looking for a boost to energy. That would make my own jugglers better. See, what means... I should see if I can find... you know what, Bulbapedia is probably a better option actually. We've made it to the deepest part. So we could have theoretically found some of the other ones. Oh god damn it. So we could have found Iron Valiant. I just chose against it at that point. So outside the Zero Lab, we do end up fighting Iron Tread, Iron Hands, and Iron Jugglers. Oh, okay. Iron Hands. Fighting Electric. So we'll have to be cautious a little bit, but I guess Strong can handle them relatively fine. I'm not paying attention at the moment as much. I should probably Control C. Give me the actual fight. Okay, it's probably a mess then. So, the Zero Lab fight, where we fight a full team of Paradox Pokemon, we actually, yeah, they all have Quark Drive, which means I'm actually at a disadvantage if I was to use my own Jugglers, as they will all be level 66. For this to face. Yeah, so outside the Zero Lab, we'll be facing an Iron Tread, an Iron Hands, and an Iron Jugulus. Iron Jugulus, we've got one, so we know what it's got in terms of effectivenesses. Iron Hands Electric Fighting means it's weak to ground. Hooray! And an Iron Tread, which is also weak to ground due to its steel typing. Lovely stuff. Really? Gastron can stay up front, basically. let's open the gate. Supposedly we should utilize Miraidon. We should be able. We should obviously use every tool that we have. Hey, Miraidon. It's good for it to be out the ball, but we do activate the gate now. Why, it's a shadowy figure on the cliffside. It's about to expose some stupid bullshit. Oh, sorry, this ain't doing nuts. It's a Miraidon in its battle form. You guys are idiots. Anyways. It's clear that one acts superior over the other. Poor Miraidon. And the Mona, you. Hooray, we traumatized our Pokemon. Hooray! Oh look, the gate that we just opened. By God, love for Gen 3 and Gen 5. My one weakness. No! And we're surrounded by a bunch of hands. Oh, and there's like a Juggler now, I guess. Yeah. Clink clunk. Valentine. As we start off with an Iron Trait. Though to be fair, Lycanroc and Gastrodon both do good against this, so the other one does almost half. Does over half actually. It's slightly over half. Hit. Not very effective Iron Head. But it flinches. Fuck! You hate to see it. Damn you, Gastrodon. Getting flinched. Yeah, Lycanroc did the job very well. See, Nemona's going all out now because she ain't fighting me. That's why she considers me to be a bit of a bitch that requires to be babied in order to actually do well in Pokemon fights. So, you know. Oh no! The hands! They're gonna hand you! No, do not. No, my brain is off kilted still. The Iron Hands just gives you a handy and then we fight it. Okay, well while I'm being stupid, I've bad time. It's electric typing. Umbreon having psychic is good news. Didn't do much damage. And obviously, Umbreon either. It wouldn't affect. And lovely damage. like I should be able to deal with it. To be fair with this bit, the fights we're doing, we are dealing with Pokemon that, well, we are getting help, at the very least. So, we're not maybe assessing the full strength that they have. Oh no, they're running away! Yeah, that'll be fine. Anyways, the Iron Jugulus. Its flying typing means we'll have to rely on Agent Power, but hey, you know, that's fine. Probably switch to Gorgus as well, I guess. But, oh, am I supposed to... Nah, sadly the Intimidate doesn't really help as much due to the, special attacker. Oh, there you go. Mass Positive is useful. Man, these Pokemon are doing a good job here, but I feel like they do a better job here than they do in Scarlet. Yeah, there's the Hyper Voice. And then Mass Positive sweeps it up. Hooray! East time! Hey, you know what? I'll take easier fights. I'll take easier fights. Arvin, they're fighting types. Don't use Mass Positive against them. But then again, Mass Positive, Cloyster, and Raiden are all weak to fighting. Use Scovillain for fuck's sake is my answer to that, but again, Intimidate does help out, I guess, to an extent. You are the reason everything went horribly wrong. But motivational. Arvin is best boy. Anyway. Just make sure Gastron is definitely healed. Good, it is. Right, so one thing I've got to consider is going to be how will we fare against the team. Gastrodon can start against the Iron Moth because of the fire poison. 4 times weakness it has to our lovely ground typing. Similarly, with Iron Bundle, Gastron does hit it super effectively, but at the same time, also maybe not the wisest decision. Honestly, Focus will be useful for fighting the Iron Hands and maybe the Iron Valiant. To beat the fairies, like it's still poison flying. So that fairy typing really is not helping it out. So, I mean, stop break. I mean, Reverend's not the worst option then, basically. Just gotta be cautionate because of its fighting typing, maybe. Iron Force is also 4 times weak to ground, so really a good ground type move takes out a good chunk of this team, and then the Iron Jugulus stops me on that front, and what makes me have to rely more on a fighting or electric or something. Well, more electric actually. Oh, hey, Pawmont. Little lower level Pawmont, sadly, but do I have any XP candy stuff? No, I don't. Okay, but we do have an air balloon, so I can send it out against the Pokemon with ground, but that's really not going to be all that useful unless I'm trying to bait out an Earthquake from Iron Thorns. So realistically, I should just check what other held items I've got that I can put on my Pokemon at this point. Get the soft sand to Garchomp. But hold on, whether we might not. Not really got much else I can give. Right. Because we could also start with Garchomp instead of Gastrodon if we really wanted to. But we don't immediately go into battle, but welcome to the final lab. And inside is the professor of your game, whether that be Turo here in Violet or Sada in Scarlet. I feel like some of this robotry stuff, robotics, basically this whole robot AI thing certainly does, I think, function better in Violet, because it's like, oh hey, technological advances by wanting to access the future versus wanting to go back in time. Good old territorial struggles. It's part of nature. So in a way, they are creatures at the end of the day. So for those who don't understand, the actual professor is dead. We have never talked to the actual one. Which is unfortunate. The AI actually wants us to put an end to this all, which makes sense. It's probably for the best. Paradox Pokemon tend to be actually a lot more stronger than their original versions. Or their later versions if you're going for the past. We do get access to an item here of booster energy. Oh yeah, we have booster energy. Oh, okay, right. So we could back out, we could grind up our Iron Jugulus. Thinking it through, is Iron Jugulus useful for any of the fights? Sadly, its flying typing makes it not so good against the fighting type of Iron Hands, but I would argue maybe Iron Valiant, but then no, wait, no, that's got part Fairy to it. So you know, the Paradox Pokemon as a whole, not really all that useful. I gotta admit, I don't know. So this is our last chance to really hammer it in. Is this the team we're gonna use? It's all or nothing. We gotta make sure that the Pokemon we use are actively going to be good for a part of the fight. Iron Moths via poison, ground murders it. Same with the rock electric of Iron Thorns, ground murders that. Iron Jugulus, ideally electric or rock will do the trick. Iron Bundles, ice water typing does make you think, gotta be careful on that one, but in reality it is weak to grass and electric and fighting and rock, so we've got plenty of ways to deal with it. Ideally, I think Fire Trick on Masquerada can do a good job. Just gotta be careful of those damn Fangled Ice Beams, really. Weather Room still poison typing probably means I shouldn't use it against Iron Valiant, but at the same time it can definitely do stuff to Iron Valiant. Similarly, Vulgus can actually hit Iron Valiant for super effective damage, which is kind of neat. It's why it's got coverage and Poison Jab. Garchomp is going to have similar usage as Gastrodon, but it is a pseudo, so it has got better stats overall comparatively to some of the other Pokemon. And it has Dig, so we're able to spend tons not getting hit, which can be useful. And Sandveil, so if we Sandstorm, we have a chance of dodging. I'm going to say that this is my team. This is going to be what we use. A little under leveled of a Pormont, but we'll take what we can get, and we've nullified its ground weakness, at least for a small period of time, by having it have an air balloon. There is nothing else for us to do unless we want to go to Blueberry, so in we go. Into the bit that we have to go through story-wise before we get to the final fight. Well, second to final, but if we make it past this bit, then the Pokemon Paradise Protocol bit is not really something that we can outright lose. But we do get to ask the questions of what the hell's an AI, and it's like at least this is an AI in the form that we would expect, like a sci-fi answer where it's like, oh yeah, it's artificial intelligence, and not, you know, hey look, here's an image with 6 fingers. Left it unable to sustain life. Nintendo is not allowed to say the word dead or killed. And of course, the fascination of going for Pokemon in the future. Yeah, meddling with the nature of life ends up being a bad thing. The whole circle of life. And yeah, that iron threads that did manage to get out, it somehow got out at the end of the day. No idea how, no idea what led to it being able to leave, but it did. And it was a huge one too, because it was a time fight. So, you know, it is worthwhile to be like, actually, you know what, this place probably shouldn't exist. We shouldn't have control over that sort of thing. It's a shame though that despite the fact that obviously we share an objective to put a stop to all of this madness, we do have to do a fight. But hey, it's just how it is. Yeah, we talked to the professor, right. All we have to do, put the book there, and we can do the stuff. Maybe we should shoot. Maybe if we disabled the AI first, that would be a good idea. But no. The various champions, meaning that it should compile data with a lot of people, supposedly, but then apparently Gita is, you know, such a horrible to fight champion. Ugh. But anyway, placing the Violet book into the thing will cause the failsafe of, hey, no, how dare you try to disable the machine. Try our best, AI2. Try our best. I ain't saying we're gonna succeed, but it's a nice thing that they're in Master Balls. It makes sense that it's like this guarantees that they would be in the ball to be transported. An iron moth. Honestly, I feel like it's Scarlet version because it looks like when I got both past and future. I feel like this version is not as good in a way. I mean, Poison Fire, I like my Poison Fire because it allows it, but still. Oh no, it can flinch spam that slash, I forgot, but that's the thing. Hey, we hit. Yep, one-shotting the Iron Moth. So depending on what he brings out next, depending on whether or not we'll have to switch. And of course, level up for focus. Yay! Iron Thorns is what it wants to bring out next. It is. I can't hit with Thunder Punch. I understand why the game might think that, because oh, electric. That would be a good idea. Water type, but no. My ground typing stops that, and also it's 4 times weak to ground. Decent Earthquake. Here's my Earth Power. 2 parts of the team got one-shotted by a Gastrodon. Gastrodon, our beloved, is doing such an amazing job. I am Bundle next. I am actually going to swap to Masquerada. I'm going to do good old flower trick. Gotta be careful of the freeze strike. It doesn't have ice beam, it has freeze strike. That's something. As that's a move that is super effective against water types. So you try to be like, aha, I'll just use a water type to nullify any potential water shenanigans. No. And we're faster. This is guaranteed to quit. Do we see a one-shot? We do! Haha! Half the team! We've been half of them up. Hooray! And then in comes the Iron Jugulus. We will happily swap over to Pormont for this, whether it's through the use of a fighting maneuver or electric maneuver. I don't know which we'll go for. Oh wait, hold on. Air slash. I just realised the air slash might But we float in the air. That's a thing. I'm thinking a double shock will do the best then, because yeah, that's actually it. Air slash does the damage. The air balloon pops, but that's whatever. Double shock, Beaumont! Which means it's just the Iron Hands fighting electric, and I'm Valiant, very fighting. A lot of fighting, you see. So, I mean, honestly, I'll send out Garchomp. Gastron's only at half health. If I have to make a sacrificial play on like Pormon or with Pormon or something on Iron Valiant to have Gastron fully healed, then I will. Sadly, Fake Out is something, so I'm going to assume it's going to use Fake Out. This will give me time to heal up Gastron. Just guarantee that Gastron's at full health. In the event that we have to switch over to Gastron. Yep, there's the Fake Out. I knew it. Maybe Sandstorm. Hello. Assuming it's pronounced again. Oh yeah, String Punch. Well, Garchomp, time to dig. Its weakness to ground is exposed. Hit it hard, hit it fast, and for the love of God, utilize the sand to dodge. No, we didn't one shot. Ah. And the Drain Punch hit. Oh, and it did away with it. Okay. I think we're fine to hit another dig. And then we're gonna have to switch. Because all that will be left is the Iron Valiant after this. So, friendly reminder, Iron Valiant's weaknesses are of the Poison typing, the Flying type, Psychic, Steel, and Fairy. Realistic, ones on probably wouldn't have been a bad one. So, we will swap Cunning Masuda method to try and get a shiny Charmander. Ah. Good luck. So I want to either Florgus or... You know, I'll go Florgus and Moonblast first. If I need to switch to something else, then I can. This is good battle music. The Iron Valiant, a mismatch of Gardevoir and Gale. That does make perfect sense, actually. And it does utilize Booster Energy, which yeah, it means its physical attack is heightened. So that's not a good thing. That's actually a horrible, horrible thing. No, Florgus! Okay, this is not good. No rubber room. Weather room type-wise, it's still poison typing means I think it is weak to ground, fire. So we should be fine. I'm gonna use a instance of spin out and just hope for the best. Ah, yeah, okay, that's what I was thinking of. Yeah, okay, I'm smart to do this instead. Get hit him. Hey, everyone hit! Hey! Hooray! Oh. Yes, one there. Ah, this person got a shiny toxic code from trading someone a non-shiny Garchomp. That's quite nice, actually. Okay. We did it! We did it, but at the cost of Florgus. One last Pokemon went down. But we are now in the final fight of the main story once we get all the dialogue stuff done. In reality, I think we are actually done. I do need to double check. Is it actually... Can we actually lose? If the player's Pokemon receives an otherwise lethal attack, it will always survive with 1 HP, even if it has not used Endure on that turn. Damage is never varied by a random factor during calculation, and critical hits cannot occur during this battle. Once electric terrain is instigated by Hadron Engine Ends, which is 8 times due to any Miraidon's hull item, the player's Pokemon will be forced to Terastallize if it has not already, and use Terra Blast every turn until the enemy Miraidon is defeated. So, yeah, we're done. We can't lose the fight. It's good to double check because I didn't want to say like, oh yeah, well, we've won. We can't lose, and then I get one-shotted and die horribly in the instance of the mirror match, where weirdly enough the moveset his Miraidon has is Hyper Beam, Torque, Power Jam, and Charge. What sort of moveset is that? Sadly, the Paralyzed Protection Protocol is a fail-safe beyond fail-safe saves to definitely try and make sure that we do not succeed in what we're trying to do. Well, we succeeded in the Nuzlocke. So, hooray! My second Nuzlocke on the channel was actually successful and not horribly screwed over by my own stupidity or horribly destroyed by various computer issues. Which is a shame, because I was having fun with the Fire Red one. So, in any of those like proper fully edited videos you ever see on the internet, it would be that it would be just a cliff note. After that, we successfully successfully fight the Paradise Protection Protocol, because that's the only thing we can, because we can't lose, and that's the game. That would literally be how it ends. The last climactic bit would be taking on the Iron Valiant, or the one in Scarlet. We tried throwing a Pokemon, didn't work. Gee, I wonder what I'm meant to do. We'll skip all the dialogue. Whoopee! Right, okay, so how long did that take us? Hour 20 minutes-ish? That wasn't too bad. So all in all, Scarlet and Violet is a very rough opening, where if you don't get Rupert or Diglett, you have to play around boosted Pour Me when your Pokemon are not going to be at all that strong. Ooh. And the abundance of choice can sometimes potentially screw you over. This is my honest critique of trying to Nuzlocke this game. At multiple times I got jumped by a Pokemon from behind. I get quite annoyed at that. But at the same time, it's similar to, say, just walking in a patch of grass and being like, come on Pokemon I want, come on Pokemon I want, and then you just get whacked, you know? It happens. So, all in all, while it's still a fun game to play, the late game fights, I was only saying mid, but the late game bit, where you're just in a slump, where you're just grinding and grinding and grinding, really being able to do what you can with the normal encounter power with the Blissey's near the team Fairy Team Starbase is probably the best way to grind, because Blissey gives so much XP. At the end of the day, like, it's just how it is though. Honestly, I had more fun with Sword and Shield, but at the same time, I think there are definitely different things you can do within the confines of a Nuzlocke of Scarlet and Violet. At the end of the day, we could have not gone to Kitakami at all. Some fights were made easier because we had access to Kitakami Pokemon, especially Ogerpon. Kitakami gives you a lot of Gen 2 mons, and they're very horrible in terms of base stat totals, but you can make them work. At the end of the day, I was actually considering the potential of using Ariados, and that's just because it was a high level Pokemon that I didn't have to grind as much. But it's not at the end of the day, I don't think Scarlet and Violet are the hardest ones, just because you have a lot more freedom. You can actively be like, I will catch this Pokemon that sweeps through all the early fights, and then you just make sure that you've got other Pokemon that are getting levels for when it's their turn to be involved. Comparatively to pretty much a lot of the other Pokemon games, where at the end of the day, your team lineup will always be... There's the likelihood of specific Pokemon. Like, let's face it, in Sinnoh, in the early routes, you're most likely going to at least encounter a Starly and a Beedee, and maybe a Shinx. If you're playing in the early morning, there's a chance of Kricketot. Don't play in the early morning, that's a terrible idea. But chances are, everyone's first couple of routes will be the same on a Sinnoh playthrough. Whereas with Scarlet and Violet, even in the first couple of areas, it's like, yeah, I specifically chose to catch a Pawmi because I thought Pawmont would be a really good choice, and it was. I specifically caught Diglett because that guaranteed that I could then maybe go for something that wasn't necessarily Paldean Rupa. Clodsire, my beloved. I didn't want to double down on ground at that point, because obviously the second gym's grass, for bloody hell's sake. Like, you can't double down on ground at that point. But ground really is a useful type at this point, which is really cool. Gastrodon ended up being really useful. Garchomp was a late addition that probably could have some more use theoretically, but it's funny that was my first time ever. Yeah. I do think that as a Nuzlocke, it's not as enjoyable as a normal playthrough. Oh, the shiny Toxicroak. It's always a mess sometimes. If you surprise trade and you get a shiny, it's most 99% guaranteed that it will be a hack shiny, and it really sucks because it's like, oh, they get a shiny, and then it's like, oh, then some website that does the whole hacking shiny best IVs, best EVs, best moveset, best stats, and it's just like, no, because you can't really use it in like competitive play because you'll get banned. Nintendo would very much hate it, but first shiny was that Toxicroak. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Toxicroak's not a bad shiny. Not a bad one. Ooh, what was my first one? My first one would have been the... Got it O'Day. Got it not today. Yeah, that's even better in a way. It means that the journey for more shinies is in your future. I wish you luck on that. Honestly... Shinies are nice as a way of collecting Pokemon. Whether they're actually good in battle or not, it depends on the game and but shiny, because obviously in Gen 2, because they're determined slightly differently, some of them are just not that good. Got it at home. That's good. Like, obviously, Weather Room and Luxway, we're gonna put in home after this. Like, I'll make sure I've done that. Because then if I say do another stupid challenge one on Violet, I can delete the save and... Shiny Shark Attack so we can have a shiny Ceruledge. Okay, that's autocorrect doing its job, I'm assuming. Because that means shiny Charcadet, so Ceruledge. Which, yeah. Autocorrect keeps going, yeah. Damn you, auto carrot. Wait, why would I be autocorrected? And with that, we end the dialogue and we get cutscened once more. We bid the AI Turo adieu. And hopefully no one ever uses this machine again. I'm sure someone will try and figure out a way to use it. I would not be surprised in the slightest. There are always mad men that want to do weird stuff that could probably be constituted as somewhat illegal. But for now, it's 100% turned off. Hopefully for good. We get more dialogue. Poor Arvin. At least he's got people to depend on now. And we understand how Arvin feels, or at least I can. I don't know how relatable it is, but eh. Of course, Charizard is in its battle form. Maybe we'll fight Nimona with it one day. Who knows? We did it! We saved all the Paldea! Hooray! Woo! Yahoo! We've done it now both in Violet and in Scarlet. Hooray! The moment the GameCube classic stuff gets Colosseum and XD Gale of Darkness, I'm gonna have to try and procure a Switch 2 just to be able to play them, because I don't have a GameCube lying around anywhere. I have PlayStation. that's not the correct system. So let's go home. Well, I mean, I'm already home unless someone's transported my room to some other part of the country or of the world. I was gonna make some kind of joke based on being somewhere where I shouldn't be, but I've just blinded myself by the sun. It's literally, I literally cannot open the curtain right now. Okay, my eyes hurt a bit. I'm just gonna keep them closed for a second. Hurrah! Hey! I've opened them now. Hurrah! And with that, we make our way home. Honestly, once again, replayability-wise, it's fun. I do think the replayability aspect of Scarlet and Violet makes them fun games to do random stuff with, just because you do get that freedom. It's like, technically speaking, if you wanted to do like a monotype ice one, you could climb up the mountain immediately. Not the wisest decision in the world, but you know, try about to start hatching eggs. Ooh. Well, good luck to you on your shiny hunting. Friendship. A lovely thing to have. So, yeah. There's Gyrosaur suddenly disapparated from having any audio. Oh no! Anyways. I love the Texas Kiwi stickers. So, with all that said and done, the only thing I can think of at this point is that we could plunder Blueberry, but that is not a fun idea, because we would have to assemble we would have to make sure that all our encounters are a team that specifically does Drayton's mission correctly. So, you know, and we've lost Florgus, which would have been lovely against a Dragon and Elite Four member. So, So, honestly, I think I'm going to count my losses. I'm going to quit while I'm ahead. No Blueberry Academy. Phew. Okay, that saves a lot of hassle. But while the credits roll, we do have to give our considerations to all the Pokemon we lost throughout the game. We did lose Talonflame, Corviknight, Yama, Salandit, Satitan, Gyarados, who did a lot better than I thought, and Florgus. Oh, and also Ogerpon. Damn you, Hassel. Killing my Ogerpon! But it was an enjoyable time. I hope anyone who's watched this either live or after the streams ended, because there are definitely few that have occurred from that, have enjoyed the time that we've played through this game again. Well, this generation again. Hopefully. No idea on that one, actually. While we are currently in the start of July, which means that we're still a good amount of months away from Legend CA. So, Pokemon playthrough-wise, while there are other things I want to do, Toby Fox, while there are other things I do desire to do on the channel, Pokemon playthrough-wise, I'm thinking doing an Emerald playthrough. And not a Nuzlocke. Not a Nuzlocke. I refuse to do that at the moment. I have not. Because, let's face it, I haven't really given Gen 3 a proper chance. I've also never given Gen 5 a proper chance, but DS emulation is a little bit harder than GBA, so I have to find emulators again and all that. Basically, it would be a bit more hassle. I've got the GBA emulator already sorted out, so Emerald is probably the better option of the two at the moment. And that should help bide us over towards Legend CA, I would hope. As for the other stuff on the channel, there's plenty of stuff. Persona 5X playthrough. It's a gacha game, so, you know. But Persona. Also, of course, Final Fantasy 14 stuff, and I guess there was a GTA 5 playthrough I did start. Do you know how hard it is to draw a thumbnail of Trevor doing horrible stuff? Oh god, these credits are... I don't know if it's the lighting in my room or something, but... they're not looking the best. Anyway, the license song has ended, so... Well, license... I don't actually know if it's a licensed song. But... I'm not hedging my bets. Now, the standard Pokemon music... Unless Nintendo has a problem with me, Do you have Pokemon then? I have it installed. Do I still actually have a... Yeah, because Ed Sheeran, that means Universal. Universal and Sony will copyright claim it. And like, I'm surprised they didn't copyright the fuck out of my SSX3 streams, folds that I uploaded. I definitely have it installed. I don't know in what state it's in. Do I even have access to it on the stream profile? I know on my main profile I have access to it, but... Of course we get a thank you, treasured friends, the end. I can check. Epilogue. Chris goes and puts his shinies in home. And maybe one or two other Pokemon. Ding dong dong ding. We've all been in big trouble because we did go to Area 0. We can now use Miraidon in battle. I will happily put it in box 1 with that. With my Luxray. Save the game. I can check. It's installed. Oh, no. Is it installed currently? This is a great time to take a quick look at what I've got. Oh, it's not even installed at the moment. No! There'll be a quick download. I say that, but that probably means I don't even have the subscription part to it. Wait, well, okay. Well, no epilogue of me putting it in. I'll do that, later. Then. So, yeah. That was Pokemon Violet. That was the Nuzlocke. It's done and dusted. Hooray! We did it! And all that. So, and Have got 2 shinies out of it, which, you know, is always lovely. I do like me a good shiny. So, yeah. Until next time, I'll see you all. I was going to see if you wanted to trade Pokemon. I can give you Ceruledge. No, that's fine. No, it's alright. Don't need a Ceruledge. So yeah, until next time, I'll see you all. Bye bye.